fish worth 12 pounds and an ounce all the way up to 15th place, Jamie. So a good week this week.
All right, Jamie Bruce here with Bugs Island wrap-up. Bassmaster Open stop number 3. Just finished up. Just slapping a lube tube video together here for you. You know, you're not going to get anything super fancy here. I just want to get them out quick to you and kind of keep everyone in touch. We're going to go through the tournament. I got lots of footage from that. Catching them a pretty unique way there, so we're gonna dive into that. Show you some live scope clips and some cool ways to catch them that I never really expected to be doing. So had lots of laughs in the derby. Ended up with a decent finish. And yeah, stick around and we'll delve into her. So I'm just sitting, the tournament just ended yesterday. I'm actually at Onum's Palace right now. He let us stay here. I'm staying with my buddy Brad Leitner, and Matt was gracious enough to let me crash here. A bit of a vagrant right now. So that's the background right now. But yeah, I mean, Bugs Island, it's on the North Carolina, Virginia border. Never been anywhere near that place before. And that was kind of the cool thing about it. There wasn't a whole lot of intel for everyone else to gather. There wasn't a whole lot of tournament history there. You know, it was kind of lining up like a shallow water fishery, but it, you know, changed a little bit. But anyway, we had a little sweet Airbnb. We tried to get these VRBOs. I got Adam Rasmussen, Brad Leitner I travel with. And then various co-anglers. I had my buddy Lukey Doosan come down to this one, and Tommy Wood, the Australian co-angler. He's starting to get known in these parts a little bit, mostly as a pain in the ass.
Might be by a dock, so the issue with
Aussie sock flops.
that sand busters.
I saw to get them like 10 sizes.
Australian sand shoes. Walk by. Damn.
Golly.
But he's a good dude. We have lots of laughs. I was just kidding, bud. But yeah, we usually have a couple co's, you know, for these crash at the house. There's usually lots of room and good to have someone in the boat to share some laughs with. And yeah, Lukey helped me drive down and was an awesome partner and really good angler and got to get a look at life on the road. So it's kind of cool to share that experience with someone else. All right, Lukey, show me how you pre-fish.
Oh, he's not fun.
Let's see your hook. Yeah, you could catch one on that. I should have warned you. But yeah, had that VRBO. We were staying south of the lake quite a bit on the North Carolina side. And that was funny. As soon as we got there, Brad had just got back from a turkey hunt wherever he was and set up one of the turkey decoys in the driveway just as a joke. And the owner of the VRBO was like, "See, you're turkey hunting." I was like, no, it's just a joke, bud. We're not turkey hunting on your VRBO. Like, he just put it there for fun or whatever. And he's like, "Oh no, there's some turkeys in these woods." He's like, "Set up them decoys and one comes out, you take your shot." So the next morning, I was like, you can't tell Brad because he'll actually do it. The next morning, Brad's online getting his hunting license and he's got deeks set up and he's calling them and he's got them on the bush line. It's just pretty funny for, you know, being at a bass tournament. It's nice to have some laughs and a good crew like that to break up the week. He never did dust one, but we ate up his turkey from the week before. But anyway, back to Bugs. First day on the lake. All these lakes we go to, the first day is always so good. These lakes are unpressured from the 400 Bassmaster anglers, you know, between co-anglers and boaters, 225 boats that go to them, and it's always so good when you first get there, and this place was no exception. First like half an hour we had 7 bass for, you know, probably had 13 pounds already. Jumped off a big one and caught a bunch, and it was like, okay. The water was coming up, it was just poured rain. So thankful to have Simms gear. And you know, I'm very proud to say that because I've worn enough rain suits in the past that, you know, are fine for like a little bit of rain here and there. But this was straight downpour the whole time, and you know, I had my Pro Dry on and I wore the new guide suit too because it was cold too. But anyway, I stayed dry and was able to paint through these, you know, 14-hour days on the water and in crazy weather conditions. So you know, found some shallow that first day and then kind of got offshore and realized that you can, you know, you can kind of make it work for you. I was finding all these isolated stumps and little rock piles and started noticing that I was just catching one fish off of a lot of them. And then around the second day, I saw what looked like a ball fry and a bass, you know, on a stump, and I was like, that's gotta be fry, like something's weird here. I couldn't catch the bass, it was swimming around, it wouldn't leave the stump. So I dropped down my Markham underwater camera, and it's got the capability to record, but I had the wrong SD card, like I didn't format it or whatever. And when I'm out in these derbies, I'm not all freaked out about lube tubing like I'm trying to catch some damn bass. But anyway, I dropped it down and I saw these tiny little fry sitting right by the log and a bass sitting right there locked. I was like, okay, that means most of these are on beds, and some of them are fry garters, if you can see the fry. So kind of a wild program. The lake was coming up, so you know, the first day a lot of these were like an 8 to 10. By the end of the week, that 8 to 10 was like 12, and you know, found some out as deep as 15. So kind of split the practice between shallow and deep. This lake is known for a shallow lake. The water's rising. The bass fishing handbook says go to the bank, and I didn't want to be the idiot out offshore catching, you know, 12 to 15 pounds when everyone maybe you'll catch 15 to 16 pounds up shallow. So we split our time shallow and deep, and it was just a mistake doing the shallow thing. I ended up, you know, fishing mostly out deep, and I did do a grind of a practice out deep, had about 100 of these beds marked. Rolled over the hooks on my smeltinator underspin. Had a drop shot going too, just cut the hook off that. Had a 13 jerkbait, rolled the hooks off that, and just tried to gauge the size of the fish by, you know, on my live scope, and didn't want to hook any of these things. I hooked enough that were, you know, nice ones for this lake, 2 to 3 pounders, and just kind of rolled with that on the first day. Hoped that it'd be enough, and yeah, it's no fun. I should say too, it's no fun practicing out deep at these places. I really want to work on my casting because it's, you know, really haven't spent much time in the boat this year. Canadians are known for being shitty casters because of all the ice fishing that we do. We're not casting year round like lots of these guys. So I really try to do a good shallow water warm up. I want to be ready for that. The reality was in this one, if I had just spent more time out deep, I would have been better off. But that's, you know, those are lessons learned. But anyway, first day, just ran stump, 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 stump. I had a co-angler, he was a good guy. That actually marked my 5th co-angler in a row. Certain I was the only person up to that point with 5 co-anglers out of 5 days. There's about half or a little better than half co-anglers in these, so most people just get 1 per tournament. But you know, I like having someone else in the boat. I like sharing the experience. It's all good. Did feel bad for him because I was out live scoping singles, and you know, I told him it's going to be tough back there. And yeah, we still had a good time, super respectful. You know, nice to share the experience, like I said. But anyway, where was I? First day, just ran a bunch of these stumps. It was a damn hurricane out there too. It was blowing like, I don't know, the mile and kilometer conversion I still don't have dialed yet, but she was gassing. It was blowing like probably 25 miles an hour. Things floating all over the damn place. The line was just dodging them. But yeah, I ran all these dots that were out of the wind. I had about 50 that were out of the wind, 50 on the other side of the lake. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll save those for day 2 and 3. I'll run all these ones that are a little bit more community and out of the wind, and ran them all and caught a pile of fish. I couldn't fish that efficiently because of the wind. It was super specific, so I had to leave a bunch that I couldn't catch. It was just too much of a pain. So yeah, finished up first day at 12.5, 44th place. You know, kind of where you want to be. If you can't really crack them, you just want to be in that position. They pay out to top 40 in these, and you know, if you're in that 44 and above is fine for points. Like, you keep getting that, you're going to the Elite Series next year. They take the top 9 out of 225, or the top 9 out of 175 that are doing all 9, I should say. So anyway, I was fine with that. My roommates were beating my ass, Brad and Raz, which is good. Nice to see those boys cracking them. We were all in the, you know, right around that top 40. Next day I was like, I'm gonna knock their lights out. It was my birthday, and for the first time ever, I didn't have a co-angler on the second day. You know, and I say that with a little bit of excitement. I don't mean, like, I don't mind having co-anglers. Like I said, I'm used to have had them in every single day of every open I've ever fished. But I didn't have one, and I was a lot more efficient, and I could just run these dots, and I had all these dots saved from the day before. And like I said, it was blowing good and all these dots were in the wind, and I started on them. I ran like about 30 of them and I didn't catch a bass. I actually caught a couple shallow, you know, just on a VMC weighted wacky hook, and I had to leave it soak forever on like single trees. Like one of them I actually caught, I was taking a pee off the side of the boat and let my Gary soak the whole time. And finally it eventually started swimming away. I was like, okay, I don't have time for this. So anyway, ran all those dots, didn't really have anything. I knew that most of them were better, so I didn't want to retread the water from the day before. There were lots of other boats out there too. And it was not looking good. I talked to the boys. I talked to Brandon McMillan. I talked to Raz.
And grinder out, catch a 3-pounder and make $3 grand.
No one was really catching them, and I was like, oh my God, this is a bad scene. And ended up retreading some of the dots from the day before and just finding like new stumps that I didn't see. I actually had one that I rolled over that I didn't know heading to the other one, and I just dropped my smeltinator on it and cracked one. And it was, you know, ended up being a pretty nice one and kind of kicked off the afternoon, and I ended up waylaying them pretty good. Not any big ones, but just kind of all in that 230 to 260 range. You know, which is fine with me.
Speed drop. Lost him and caught him. Like 100 boats in here, and I figured they'd all be toast, but there's still some bass left. Got a couple of these little hidden waypoints that I've been saving. I'm saving them for day 3, but that ain't happening. Yes. Last minute rally. Good new red line on there. Handy in this nice foam box. As we'll do some sponsor plugs while I'm in panic mode trying to save my fishing career here. Come on, baby. I use the triple tag ender. It seems to be the fastest drop shot knot. Tag something below because there's not a chance I'm showing you now. Okay, weight on there quick. I gotta go. Okay, that was a good salvage. 2 o'clock I had 9 pounds. Now I got 12.
So I had a good little rally. It was nice. I'll show you my baits here. Haven't talked about it a pile yet. I'll dig them out of the mess. So this one was one of the weapons here, especially for the tougher to catch fry garters specifically. If you could see that ball of fry, I just drop this down and swim it over them, and you'd have to get it in the right spot and get their attention. But this is a Smeltinator underspin by BT Fishing. It's the classic winning Smeltinator lure that, you know, everyone knows, but we've added real high-end components, super high-end swivel, and then just a tiny little blade to it. That's a 3-inch Z-Man Slim Swims. That's one of my favorite finesse swim baits right there. You know, I've caught them on this package everywhere from the Bassmaster Open on Lake Hartwell last fall to winning the Soon Arrows Bass and for Bucks smallmouth tournament, you know. And I really felt like I was the only guy with this in the field other than a couple of roommates that had it. So yeah, this is just a little 1/4 ounce or 2/0 hook. You know, flogged that around, getting a little angry in Kentucky here. Flogged that around, that was a good option. Caught lots on the Smeltinator. You know, I was using anywhere from a 375 Z-Man Streaks to the big 5-inch jerk shads that we use so often at home. You know, I just felt comfortable with that, and I caught some on the drop shot too. And this was a little weapon too, and this hook really made the system. This is one of the new Redline. It's a Nico hook. It's actually got resin bead holding on a fluorocarbon keeper. I don't know if you can see that there. Paired that up with the jerk shads as well, and it was just kind of something that they weren't really looking at. That keeper did really well at holding the Z-Man in place. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to rig on a drop shot. I don't know how brutal this sounds. I'm in Robertson's shed here. The rain's coming down a little bit here in Kentucky, but I'll make this short. Did have some missed opportunities. You know, I was happy with my finish. I finished 30th here. I moved up to 23rd in points out of the 175 overall. I'm actually tied with Bobby Lane of all people at 23rd and 24th in points. So happy with that. Keeps the Elite Series dream alive, but I did leave a lot on the table. I lost 1 over 5 on the first day out in the wind. You know, not really anything I could do about it. It was just the way of the road. I didn't lose any at Toledo that maybe I should have, and you know, tried not to get hung up on it, and ended up being all right and rallied the rest of the weekend. And I also broke one off on a dock cable that was on a bed that killed me, and that was just inexperience at fishing around these sharp dock cables, and I should have known better. So you know, definitely left a you know, close to a top 10 on the table, but you can't dwell on those. You know, I really haven't lost a whole lot of fish in my fishing career. I've been fortunate there, so it's going to happen. But when you lose 1 over 5 in one of these opens, especially on a lake like Bugs Island, that's a pretty painful one. But this is the first tournament I've had these new Envy Black 3 rods. Drop shotting on the Omen 7.1 medium, by the way. But these Envies, this is the Envy Black 7.3 medium, and I'm a big fan of just running all the same model of rod, and just adjusting my style and line and reel and everything to what rod I'm using. But I got 5 or 6 of these, and I laid them all on the deck, and that's all I used outside of my drop shot Omen. Super nice rods. You know, they're the highest end in the lineup. So if you're looking for something higher end, they're wicked. You don't have to go out and buy the highest end ones. The Omens are good too, but you know, if you're serious about it and want something super nice, they're definitely worth a look. I realize I'm really plugging this rod, but I do like it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to finishing off the season with it. But yeah, that's about it. You know, was happy with how things went, even though I had some misfortune. It was all good. It was a good little birthday. And you know, happy to get the $3,500 check and roll on to the next one with a realistic chance at you know, qualifying. We're only 33% done the season. There's 6 more events. You know, I was really worried about these first 3 and survived. Had a good finish at Toledo. Eufaula just ended up being survival mode. Had a triple digit, a 104 finish there, which is still, you know, it's still technically better than average, but glad to have it back on track. Thanks everyone for following along. You know, it hasn't been an easy year just to get down to these things. I've got so much going on at home that I'm really fortunate to have kind of branched out, and glad that I committed early, because with everything that's, you know, been going on, there's probably no way I would have done it had, you know, having not paid my deposits and everything. Have had so much support from you know, companies and individuals back home that, you know, really wouldn't be able to do this without it. It's such a rich man's game, and I'm not a rich man. So fortunate that they can kind of give the the blue collar guy a chance, and you know, hopefully make everyone proud at the end of the year. The amount of support from home has been overwhelming, and all over, you know, the north too. Lots of buddies from Minnesota and people have been reaching out, and you know, I can feel the momentum. We're rolling with it. We got Wheeler Lake next. I'll try to record everything I can, and thanks everyone. And hey, if you want to help out, subscribe, drop a comment. You can bully me if you want. I got pretty lit up on the Milliken video for clickbaiting everyone, but whatever. I talked to him, he doesn't care. He knows all about clickbait. That's just the way it works on YouTube. So yeah, subscribe, drop a comment, hit a like if you want, and we'll see you at the next one.
Anyway, just waited out the rain. Glad we had the Sims on. Just coming to final weigh-in on my wakeboard and life jacket. 346. Getting a workout today wearing this thing around.